Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're looking at Searching. I went into this movie with no expectations. It's not that the trailers made me think it was going to be a bad movie or anything. It's just incredibly generic. It had Sundance on it, which basically every movie made now has Sundance on it. It doesn't mean anything. It's not like a stamp of quality or anything. Every movie and its grandmother's tits have Sundance plastered on it, so that didn't impress me or anything. And it also used the gimmick of this is all from the perspective of a computer. And I hate that kind of shit. It's just, oh, here's a gimmick thing. Oh, this movie's filmed from the perspective of a toothbrush that happened to be near the scene of the whole entire movie. I mean, that's cool, but that doesn't really add much. And also, this movie is in a very overdone genre with a very overdone concept, a missing teenager. All this being said, I didn't have a lot of expectations. And this movie fucking blew me away. I think this is the best the thriller mystery genre gets. This is the smartest movie I've ever watched. It is so well written, and they are able to convey so much emotion in such a powerful story through just using words on the computer screen and searches on the computer screen, scrolling through photos and occasional FaceTimes. Jackson, I forgot to mention this, but this is probably an important point to put somewhere in the beginning. In the beginning, the gimmick of the computer seems pretty cringy, and it seems like the director's out of touch with how internet culture works and how it all kind of functions, but as the movie progresses, they're really able to capture exactly how 2018 internet would react to a story like the one in this movie. If what happened in this movie happened in the real world, the reaction would be very similar to the reaction you're going to see in this movie. It's incredible how realistic he was able to make this. The director did a fucking great job of actually making it a believable reaction to the story, especially in a world where people don't understand the internet in Hollywood. So I'm surprised they didn't just have like dabbing memes or something just spread all over Instagram. They actually had exactly what you would expect to see, which is very surprising. Every part of this movie makes it feel like a real story that we're watching unfold. The gimmick of it all being from the computer was honestly one of the strongest parts of this movie. It was just so fucking incredible to learn along with the main character what's going on and all the twists and turns and piecing it all together. And it is just so fucking good, and you never can guess where it's going next and the resolution, because they constantly throw more and more things at you that complicate it and take it in new directions, which is super refreshing in this genre, because most of the new movies that come out that fall into this category of film are just so by the books and obvious. You can always pretty much guess where the plot's going and who the bad guy is. It was the creepy librarian missing her 2 front teeth, and she did it in the IKEA using the fleshlight as a weapon. But wait a minute, that's what you thought. It was actually the really good-looking guy who was also kind of creepy, and he pretty much told you that he did it right from the get-go. Who would have guessed? But here, nothing is obvious. You're gonna come up with a whole bunch of different fucking tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. Oh, it was the reptilians, she got abducted by aliens, etc. And then you're gonna be proven wrong, most likely. And that's great. In a genre where you can almost always guess how it's going to unfold, getting surprised with really well-written twists is so refreshing. And let me say again, this movie is very, very well written. In a lot of movies, the characters are so fucking dumb it makes you want to puke, especially like the Alien movies, where when the scientists go to a foreign planet, they're in their spring break gear. It's fucking stupid. Or in the Last Jedi, where the commander for some reason just doesn't tell anyone her plan, even though that would have saved a lot of trouble and half the movie wouldn't have even happened. This movie has characters that are really smart, and if they ask the questions that you would expect a real person to ask, a smart person to ask. Like, is he going to make sure to mention this small detail because it might come into play? He mentions that small detail, and that small detail comes into play. Everything it has a part to play. Every detail that you think might be small comes back, and it's probably big. And it's really fucking good. Everything just comes together so nicely into this plot with a really great conclusion. So many twists and turns along the way. I loved it. I absolutely loved everything about this movie. If I had to give one complaint, it would be that it really does feel too realistic, where like an old father, like an old ass geriatric patient is using the computer sometimes with the way he moves the mouse. It's so slow. It's so goddamn slow. Especially when you're an elite Fortnite gaming god specimen like I am, who's used to flick wristing shit. Seeing a man very slowly move his mouse to the click search button It's painful. That is the only complaint I could even think of, and that's just the biggest nitpick possible. This movie is the best the thriller genre can get, in my opinion, and the acting is superb. All the characters put on a really impressive performance. I fucking loved it. Now, all this having been said, and me completely believing that this is the best thriller slash mystery movie I've ever seen, it's still not a must-see, go out of your way to go watch movie, because I don't think everyone is going to enjoy it. Let's plug this shit into the moist meter. I'm giving Searching a 90%. It is a fucking amazing movie, though. I can't stress that enough. And I really do think it is the best mystery thriller movie I've ever seen, and probably the best mystery thriller movie that has hit theaters in a long time, because I've basically been seeing every fucking new movie that's come out for like the last 2 years now. So I've seen a lot of this shit, and this is a lot better than all of that shit in that category. So that's I have nothing but positive things to say about this movie. That's it. See ya.